Meredith Dake. She's an associate editor over at Breitbart News, and she joins us now live from Oklahoma City. Meredith, thanks for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What a day you had yesterday. I'm guessing you stayed up all night covering this by looking at your Twitter stream. You were pretty much giving live Twitter updates all night long. Have you gotten any rest yet?
No, not yet. I'm on my third glass of sweet tea, though, so I'm doing okay.
See, Oklahoma, they're drinking their sweet tea. All right. Well, listen, I mentioned a little bit about the news coverage there. Talk to me a little bit about the community in Oklahoma. I mean, living in Oklahoma, I'm reading from your article at Breitbart that you posted. You understand you're going to be dealing with tornadoes on a regular basis. It's sort of the tornado capital of our nation. What is the community reaction to something like this? What's going on right now in Oklahoma?
Well, right now, from what I understand, that search crews are still going to be searching through the night. After the May 3rd tornado of 1999, it kind of changed everybody's thinking on how they approach these things. It used to be kind of, get into an interior room, get into a closet, and still people do that. But after the May 3rd, whenever you saw tornadoes like this one today, which was very similar to the May 3rd, that can actually pull up blades of grass out of the ground and have winds going 200 miles an hour, it's not going to leave much in its path. If it hits you directly, it's not leaving much. And so it was, okay, we need to move underground and shelters and cellars and things like that. And so a lot of people are still buried in these tornado shelters that they have put to themselves. And they're fine and they're alive. And a lot of people, of course, put a lot of food and water, and they have it all, worked out to where they can stay there for several hours at the very least. So there's going to be crews working throughout the night. They had multiple lights being donated from Tinker Air Force Base, and also people who have them like on their tractors and stuff like that. We're moving them out to these areas so that way search crews could work through the night.
I know you spent some time in a storm shelter yesterday. I was keeping updated on my family in that part of the world, and they were in storm shelters yesterday. But talk to me a little bit about Plaza Towers Elementary School. This is a story that just breaks your heart.
Yeah, from what I understand, the tornado hit it directly. It's very close, actually, to where I live, just around the corner. And from what I can tell from news reports, it's very hard because there's a lot of conflicting stuff coming right out of there. Of course, anything with schools and children, people, it's very hard to listen to, but at the same time, people want to know. They want to hear that these kids are going to be okay, and so there's always constantly people on scene trying to get the news that these kids are okay, right? And so from what I can tell, the children were all put in, the center place of the school, which is the best place to go in a tornado if you don't have a cellar or something like that. And the thing just hit it directly, head on. And so there were lots of kids buried in rubble for a while. I know there was, 40 reported missing. Several of those now, I believe, a lot of the children and parents were separated from each other, and the parents couldn't get to their kids, and the kids couldn't get to their parents because of downed live power lines. You have to understand in these areas, okay, so your kid survives, but it could be hours before you could get to them just because it's not safe to travel through the area. And so sometimes we thought kids were missing when in fact they were actually moved to a church or some location to be reunified with their parents later. Last I looked, I kind of had to stop watching it after about 8 hours of watching this. You kind of have to turn it off.
Right.
Last I looked, there were still children missing, but there were fatalities there, and it's very, very sad.
Well, and given that, you said that you've relooked at how you do these things, and the safest place is to go into a cellar or underground. Is it time to start looking at the construction of these public schools? I remember growing up in the Midwest, we always, we were told hide under your desk if a tornado warning comes. Should they start, is there going to be a push now for creating cellars for children so the children can go underground as well?
Well, that's possible. In the case of these schools, actually, I tweeted this out yesterday. My father came in and told me that he was a janitor at Plaza Towers whenever he was a senior in high school and through college. That's how he earned money. One of the ways that he earned money in high school and college. So this school has been there for a little while, and so you might say, well, why haven't all this changed since 1999? But that's one reason why it hasn't, is because a lot of these buildings have been there since before that.
All right. Hey, Meredith, we've got to roll. Thank you. We'll continue following your updates over there at Meredith Dake on Twitter, and also we'll continue reading your posts at Breitbart News. Thanks for joining us this morning. I know it's very early for you. Or late. I guess it's late.
Yeah, late.
It's late at night. All right. Thank you, Meredith.